Hey folks, Sam Luce here with Safari Pedals, bring you another new plugin. Now, after countless comments asking what that thing is that Noam is using in his videos, now you can use it for yourself. This is Noam's mastering console. It's a faithful recreation of the one-of-one tube mastering desk built exclusively for Safari HQ. It's a faithful modelling of the analog circuitry within the console, which you can use as a complete final stage processor for mastering. It's a feature-rich console, so there's a lot to talk about. You have input gain to control how much signal comes into the console with high and low pass filters of changeable slopes, perfect for trimming low end below 20 Hz and high end above 20 kHz to make sure everything is clean before export, with no runaway sub or super high end information to create problems. The saturation section gives you a rich tube style saturation with intensity controlled by the saturation control. You can then blend this saturation in using the wet dry mix control, bring it up to add in some of that tube warmth. The saturation filter allows you to warm up specific frequency ranges whilst keeping others clean, and you get some really unique sounds. The level then sets the output after the saturation and filtering stages. The EQ section is a very smooth Baxandall style EQ that's perfect for gently shaping the frequency balance of your mix. Shelves at 40 Hz and 12 kHz give you a broad scope to tighten or thicken your audio. Then the MS matrix gives you independent level control over the mid and side channels of your master, allowing you to create some fantastic width or perhaps emphasize vocal in the center channel. The de-esser is another line of defense against sibilance and allows you to gently soften high frequencies if and when they're an issue. This is controlled by the amount and frequency controls. Then engaging the clipper allows you to push your mix louder with controlled clipping. Then of course you can set the output level after all the processing you've chosen. So let's just take a look. This is a before and after, and then I'm going to dive into the settings a little bit more and see exactly what you've got on offer here.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I ain't gonna sit.
So you heard that everything just got more impactful, a bit crunchier, everything got a little bit wider. We're going to walk through and see exactly what each of these controls is going to do for you. So starting off with the filters, we've got a 20 Hz high pass filter and 20 kHz low pass filter. So we can just be quite aggressive at 24 dB per octave, or 12 dB is going to be a little bit gentler, 18 kind of in the middle. It's just good to be able to trim off some of that low and high end on a master and just make sure there's no problems further down the line. We can set the input and output controls. I've used auto gain to just bring it up, and we can use the metering. This is input metering and output metering. And just make sure that we're not clipping when we're coming in. If we were clipping, we could maybe bring that input down just a touch. So let's take a look at the saturation for a start. We've got the saturation control, then we've got the clean mix, and then we've got the saturation level. I'm just going to adapt these a little bit and adjust the filter, which I'm going to discuss in just a moment.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch. I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch. I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way.
So it's pretty clear to hear what's going on there. The saturation is really crunching stuff up. I like to go on a master like this kind of vibey track. I like to go a little bit more saturation than I maybe would for another master. It's completely up to you though. By adjusting the saturation amount, the wet and dry, and the overall level, you can get just the right amount of saturation you want. But these filters are where it gets really interesting, because you can have them completely flat, so it's not cutting off any lows or highs. As you bring these up, what's happening is the low frequencies below 300 Hz are not going to be saturated. And as you bring this down, the high frequencies above, in this instance 5K, are not going to be saturated. It's a great way of just soloing in, zoning in the processing and just saying this mid-range frequency area is where I want to apply the processing. You'll often find that in really high frequencies and really low frequencies, that's when saturation can create some problems. If you're saturating the low end too much, then you're going to be destroying that low end a bit. So it's great to be able to just roll that off in the saturation filter and just not apply that saturation to the super highs and super lows. It gets a bit more focused. So you've heard how that sounds vastly different at the moment. Before I go to the EQ section, I'm actually just going to widen this out a little bit. Now, this is not the widest track in the world, and it could do with a little bit of help. Now, this is not a kind of a crazy wide, crazy narrow thing. With mastering, we're doing gentle strokes, and that's what this is. The side channels could be brought up a touch. We don't want to send everything crazy into the side channels because that can get really unnatural, and when you're maybe summing to mono, your mix can completely change. So just want to bring up the side channels just a touch. Let's do that now.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I can go to city, and I'm going fast. Will you miss me? If I crash, will you keep me?
It's really quite a gentle type of processing. It's not about going crazy and really chucking everything out to the left and right as a lot of stereo processors do. It's something gentle. And you can really add to the width of the overall track, or equally, if you wanted to bring up the mid channel, we could do that. We could bring up what's going to be in the center. So maybe kick, snare, vocal. We can just reinforce that a touch. Let's try that.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I can go to city.
So as opposed to that width that we got before, we're getting maybe a little bit more focus, a bit more kind of immediacy, because that vocal, kick and snare are right there and we're able to bring those up. I actually preferred it when we had a bit more side. I kind of think the vocal, kick and snare are doing a pretty good job where they are. Let's take a look at this Baxandall EQ, because this is a very gentle slope. This is about thickening and sweetening. It's not about really carving in the frequencies. It's not about really going crazy with lows and highs. It's overall tone shaping. And when we're mastering, this is kind of what we're aiming for. So let's thicken it up a little bit and hear what it sounds like when we bring that down as well. And equally with the top end, let's add a little bit more shimmer or maybe bring it down a bit. Just see what the scope is of these controls.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I can go to city, and I'm going fast. Will you miss me? If I crash, will you keep me? In your best, I'm feeling hazy. Oh, let me drift away.
So just take a listen to those before and after. As I'm turning them, you can hear that it is gentle, and that is by design. It's not meant to be a real carving thing. It's meant to be overall tone shaping. But when you bring it out, you're going to notice that the thickness and kind of shimmer goes away a little bit. And when you bring them in, it just kind of feels right.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I can go to city, and I'm going fast. Will you miss me? If I crash, will you keep?
So we're clearly adding a decent amount of level there. So as we move on, it's important to kind of gain match. But when we're dealing with mastering as well, it's that the two-sided coin, because we do want to make A/B comparisons at equal loudness, but overall we want to be aware of what loudness we're kind of getting. So I'm going to play you a level match version now and bring down this output control, but be aware that I'm not going to be doing that in the final version. I want to get that loudness. So let's just take a listen, see if we can get this a little bit more matched.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I can go to city, and I'm going fast. Will you miss me? If I crash, will you keep me? In your best, I'm feeling hazy. Oh, let me drift away.
We're definitely controlling things a bit more. We're adding a bit more color, a little bit more vibe. But overall, I'm going to be bringing that output up, and it's down at -6.4 to kind of level match things, just to show you how much level we're actually adding here. But overall, I'm going to be bringing that up in the end. So the clipper is great for if you want to get that loudness. It's just going to add an extra level of dynamic control, an extra level of clipping that is going to do what a clipper does. You know, it's not a limiter, it's a clipper. It's a chopping off of the waveforms, which allows you to get that overall level. I'm going to bring that in because I like the sound of clippers, and it's not necessarily something that you hear straight away, but everything as a sum of its parts with that clipper in is going to help things quite significantly. And we've got a de-esser here as well. Now, again, this is something that you're not going to put it on and go, oh my goodness, that de-esser is the greatest sounding de-esser in the world. What this is doing is it's another line of defense. It's another way of just reducing sibilance in a master if you need it. If you don't need it, you don't have to use it. This is the thing. It's about having all these tools here should you need them. Maybe your track doesn't need saturation. Maybe it doesn't need quite this much EQ. And that's what mastering is about. It's about horses for courses and using the right tools for the right job. But if you have a plugin that has all the tools there, you're able to use them when you need them.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I go to city and I'm going fast. Will you miss me? If I crash, will you keep me in your best? I'm feeling hazy. Don't let me drift away. I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever.
Cool. It's just an extra line of defense if you need to bring down the sibilance just a touch. So let's go for a final before and after. I'm going to do the level matched one first, and then I'm actually going to bring that output all the way up, and you're going to hear what level you're getting, but we're not crushing stuff. And remember, this is something that you can use in conjunction with other plugins, maybe the Lion Master if you want a true peak limiter in there, or maybe you want a bit more control over the frequency balance, then you can maybe put Dragon EQ in there. It's not to say this is the only thing you have to use for mastering. This is just a great tool that has a lot of the things you might need to really polish and finish off a track. Let's take a listen to that before and after again.
I'm feeling hazy. Can you tell you are amazing? Got me under your spell, my heart is racing. I got caught in your way. I hope we'll never ever switch lanes. I go to city and I'm going fast. Will you miss me? If I crash, will you keep me in your best? I'm feeling hazy. Don't let me drift away.
So that's Noam's mastering console. It's the console that you've seen in countless videos that Noam's done, and we keep getting comments, what is that thing? What is that thing? Well, now you can use it, a faithful recreation of the Tube mastering console that so many of you have seen. You can get this as part of the Everything bundle, you can get this as part of the subscription, or you can buy it outright on a perpetual license. Whatever you want to do, this is now on the Safari website now, safaripedals.com. Go check it out, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.